Hello and welcome to the Helmet Head podcast. Now, do we have a podcast for you today? We have some unofficial inside information of the unbelievable BMW GS 1300. Plus, we have a bike. We've had a press release sent to me that says it's got a 7-year warranty that is a new, hopefully future industry standard. Plus, we've got so many announcements about the Helmet Head channel coming up. So let's jump straight into this podcast by talking about, of course, the hugely anticipated BMW GS 1300. Now, please do not take any of this as 100% gospel, but what I will say is I do have some nice inside information. So let's just talk about the upcoming release. Now, the predicted release for this bike is going to be at the end of this year, potentially end of September, October time. And it's going to be the 2024 model for the GS as we're expecting it to be. Now, the BMW GS, it's been a game changer, love or hate it. It has become one of those bikes that is the biggest selling adventure bike out on the market. And this bike has been rumoured to be released for a very, very long time. Now, recently there's been an incredible amount of spy shots to do with this bike coming out, and a lot of guessing and information being slowly drip fed to us people that get the press releases and the packs. Well, I've pulled literally every string that I could possibly pull to get some of what I believe is factual information, but as always, this is third hand. I'm being told this off the record, what means potentially it could be wrong, but this is what I've been told. So obviously we already know that the BMW GS engine, if you look at the performance figures of the 1250 compared to things like the Ducati Multistrada and the Triumph Tiger, the actual, on paper, the brake horsepower is actually slightly less, around 130, where they're more towards the 150 brake horsepower. Now, I will say on the road you really can't tell the difference. The GS 1250 is just got so much torque and power, is all that you really need. But what BMW seems to be doing with this is they are changing it in such a way with the 1300 that we're expecting, and should be, if not beat, from what I'm being told, the 150 brake horsepower. That is an incredible amount of horsepower on a big beast. So that's the first thing I've been told. Now I'm going to go through a little bit of the list that I've scribbled down on a recent phone call. So some of the updates that are more slight, as always with what's going on at the minute in the market, is that they've already chucked on the current model so much stuff, it's unreal. But to give the bike new looks, this is what I'm being told, is that it's got a different set of lights, especially the daylight running lights, a lot more modern to give it that more sleeker looking effect. Now, the handguards that come with the bike are going to have the indicators on, so obviously when you indicate you're going to get the first, obviously your main indicator plus the handguards as well, to create a different look to the bike itself. The other feature that's going to be pretty much new is that you're going to have in your mirrors, you're going to have a light up blind spot indicator. That means if you're, say, you're on a dual carriageway or about to overtake and a car comes up your rear to overtake and it's in your blind spot, that will light up, hopefully meaning that you won't pull out. So more safety features are coming on the bike. The other thing that I believe I'm being told that's going to be coming with this bike is they're putting radars on the front and the back, and this is mostly to do with adaptive cruise control. That means that it can speed up and slow down depending on what's going on. So you've got the rear radar, obviously to do with the lighting up of people overtaking, plus you've got the point when you're on cruise control and you're hacking down ridiculous amounts of miles, the bike should adjust its speed if it catches up, and then should accelerate to the speed you set it at to be able to overtake. They're just some of the features I'm being told about. Now, the big drop, the big information that you want to know is price, and I get that because I've been given, and nobody else I believe has been given, the potential price at the minute. And when I say I had to be very clear of what I'd say, I've literally trying to say this is a predicted price instead of the actual price, because again, they don't want to get in trouble and I don't want to get it wrong. But just before that, the other new addition feature that I've almost missed out is the front windshield. So what they've done on the front windshield itself is they are looking at basically putting a new windshield on it, make it look a little bit more modern, but also give an sort of, not to say an unbelievable, but a big difference in wind protection compared to the GS 1250. So ideally you're not going to get any wind buffering from what they're sort of investing in and experimenting in. But price, this is what you want to know, don't you? This is the big thing. This is the last piece of information I've got on the GS 1300 as well. The price Now this is literally the base model price. I have no idea about extras or anything else. I'm being told it's going to be just shy, and this is why they said not exact price, but just shy, base model with no panniers or anything on it whatsoever at all, £16,000. So basically 15,990 is tends to be what BMW does. But I've been told this is not guaranteed, wink wink, at all in any way. So they're looking at additional changes. Now the engine's got more changes to do with more liquid cooling and stuff like this, but for me, they were the things that I really picked up on, and I think they're just really slickening down and smoothing out more and more that they can on that bike, because to be honest, the GS sells anyway. So this new edition is almost upping the horsepower, making it look more sexy into do with the light package itself, better wind protection, more safety features for those long haul distance rides, because that's what a lot of people buy GSs for. They're just getting all those features right, and basically around another £1,000 on the previous base model to have these safety features from what I've seen. But that horsepower could make a difference. So that's all the updated news I've got on the BMW GS 1300. Hopefully that's helped you people, because I'm really excited to see this bike. I do generally want to get my hands on a BMW GS in the helmet head stable, and if it's that good, would that be the bike I'd go, because I can't afford it, it'd have to be a finance deal, but is that the bike I'd buy on a finance deal? It's looking like potentially the best bike in regards to big adventure bikes for 2024, at least I've heard of at the minute. So let's jump to the other side of the spectrum, and this is the other official press pack that I've actually been sent from Sinus. Now Sinus make really sort of smaller 125, if you've not heard of them, motorcycles, and I've got a little bit of history to tell you about Sinus after in regards to me and the channel. But the press pack that they've sent me, now if you're into your sort of sporty bikes, this is about the GPX sports bike that looks very much like, if you're in my age, you'll remember the RS 125s and the NSR 125s. They're basically full sports bikes in a 125 engine, and they're an incredible amount of fun. Twist, go, bump are just excellent. There's a plane going over, and because I filmed this in one take, you're gonna get a plane noise, because basically where I live there's a small airfield not far away, and this is part of the flight plan. Anyway, let's crack on with the Sinus. Now first of all, let's start with the biggest thing of all, the 7-year warranty. This is going to be one of the first motorcycles currently on the market that offer a 7-year warranty, very much like Kia did in cars. Now my sort of bugbear with the whole Sinus thing is I don't know any dealers near me that stock brand new Sinuses for sale. So you need a warranty you can take a bike back to, and it'd be interesting to figure out, especially if you're interested in buying a 125, then if you're going to buy one, where's your nearest one? But the 7-year warranty is almost their way of saying, because these are Chinese engines that are proven to be actually really, really good, and this is their way of saying, like Kia did with the cars, this is how good our engines are. We believe we'll give you a 7-year warranty for complete peace of mind. And I just hope, imagine if all manufacturers did that. Imagine if you picked up a Honda Africa Twin going, do you know what, I've got a 7-year warranty on this. Now warranties, you can service your bikes at home using the official parts, etc, etc, but the idea of it is that you keep going back to the main dealer, so they actually get their money's worth out of you during that time. But your peace of mind is to know if anything goes wrong with that bike, that engine, you can pop back. And Sinus is going, we're going to change the game here, we're going to up the level for all those other manufacturers out there and make a 7-year warranty bike. And a 125 7 years can get a lot of wear, so it'll be interesting looking at their terms and conditions, but the first ones to do it, so I'm quite excited by that. Plus they've decided to do a £500 contribution towards the price new, so you can buy the Sinus GPX for, with the £500 off, £3,199 with a 7-year warranty. That's interesting, and that is, you know, that is bold, isn't it? 7-year warranty for that price. Yes, you've got to service it with them, but if you do have a dealer that's nearby or within reasonable commute, or you can get your hands on the official parts with the VAT receipt, you can service it at home and know you've got a bike no matter what. You can take it back if that engine goes wrong. It's a bold statement. I'm really, really impressed with that. The one thing for me with Sinus, as the Helmet Head channel goes, is that last year, I believe it was, so I obviously get a lot of offers these days to do with product reviews and press bikes, and my channel, the Helmet Head channel, I'm trying to very much do a review, either kit review, potential bike review, in between what I'm currently doing is my world adventure. So if you're new here, over on the main Helmet Head channel that you can easily find, there's a link down in the description. But basically, if you put Helmet Head in Google, it should come up as #1. Click on the Helmet Head channel and you'll see I'm currently riding around the world on a Honda monkey bike that's been modified by an awesome garage in Weston-super-Mare called Ashworth Automotive into a well-dominating adventure bike, and I'm doing it leg by leg, trying to prove that I can have a family, have a full-time job, save up the money in between legs every 6 weeks, fly back out and do another leg of this entire amazing world. And when I say it's an incredible journey full of surprises, we're on leg 4 that's currently being released at this time. It's amazing. It's really, really special. So I've got a good history of 125. So this monkey bike, for instance, I've taken off-road on the most dangerous road here in the UK, and obviously that's the Strata Florida in Wales, and it killed it. It did an unbelievable, fantastic job, and it's been around the UK on it, and now it's travelling on. It's done an incredible amount. So I thought Sinus would be the golden opportunity to prove how good their bikes are. So I actually reached out to Sinus and said, will you lend me 2 of your terrain? Now the terrain are 125 adventure bikes. They look like awesome adventure bikes. They come with actual plastic panniers and they're an incredible price, and I think they were even cheaper then than they are now by far. And I was like, let me take that and let me take that down the Strata Florida and prove that these adventure bikes are adventure bikes and they are able to take a battering, and it'll be absolutely awesome, and it'll make an unbelievable content, and it'll be that bike, it'll be that 125 adventure bike people will want to buy. Now Sinus, at least their marketing team that I deal with, replied back and said, well, we've only got 2 of those bikes, press bikes. They're currently not available, but if they are available, we wouldn't really be happy with you taking them off-roading. It's like, well, it is off-roading, but it's green laning, it's extreme, it's river crossings, it's quite crazy, but if I can do it on a monkey bike that's not designed for it, I can do it on yours. And they were quite adamant that they didn't want to lend me the bikes to do that. So I said, okay, no problem at all. If you want to lend me the terrain, what I'll do is I'll do a bit of an adventure on one. We'll do some very light gravel tracks and we'll show the bike as the adventure bike that it is. And they came back to me again, what was quite shocking, thinking, like, that's a perfect opportunity to prove how great your bikes are, with that's not currently available at the minute, and we still don't want them to go off-road because of insurance reasons. I'm not off-road and this is green laning, so they're still insured. And then they came back with, we wanted to lend me a different Sinus. I can't remember what it is now, but it's the one that looks more like a baby Harley. But we're happy to lend you that bike, but we've recently changed our insurance. That means you've got to insure the bike yourself. Now, for me as a content creator, when you do a review on something that's not as massively popular as some of the bigger bikes, you know that the ad revenue and the money come back is nowhere near as big. So as much as I'd happily have one for a review on the channel, not at my costs in regards to the cost of the insurance. And normally most press bikes, when they land with a content creator like myself, they will come with a full tank of fuel, a lovely letter, and also everything you need. If it breaks down, you have any problems with it, they take care of the entire lot. The other extreme is they invite you to a press day where they'll have you stay over or treat you to a day with lunch and you ride with them. But I prefer having the bike for a week, because when I do a review, I want it to be really about the bike and a set of reviews more than anything else. So when they literally said to me, oh, we will lend you a bike that I didn't ask for in the first place, that was new for them at the time, but their least selling bike, and I've got to insure it at my cost, that reality, just to insure a bike for a week, if you do it off the cuff, especially as I've got to be classed as a TV presenter for insurance reasons, you're looking at about 100 quid. What would cost me that to insure my monkey bike for a year? And I wouldn't get the revenue back. So at this point, after exchanging loads of emails with them, I was like, do you know what, enough's enough. I'm just not going to bother, because it's not in my favour and they're missing out on an opportunity. But I kind of feel like for them was the golden missed opportunity, because I could have really proven that that little 125 adventure bike could have been something absolutely incredible. And if you think if Sinus was really clever, potentially it could be the Sinus I'm riding around the world now, given to me by them, and not the monkey bike. Obviously I'm glad I've got the monkey bike and it's been adapted the way it has, and it's an unbelievable machine. And riding a Honda monkey bike around the entire world is the most crazy, thrilling, fun experience I've ever had. And knowing that it's been adapted with you know, uprated top suspension and panniers like no other Honda monkey bike has got in the entire world, by an unbelievable garage that is just backing me all the way and keep uprating the parts when things go wrong on the bike and stuff like this, all at their own cost, has been an incredible journey. So I wouldn't change that at all. But if we could just go back in time, Sinners could have gone, we really like what you're doing. When I put out originally, does anybody want to sort of, you know, sponsor the trip and be part of it? They could have snapped that up. So I think they've missed out on so many opportunities. Personally, I still would review a Sinners on the channel. I'd love to get my hands on one, but it would have to be them bringing it to me and letting me review and test it the way that I do, because that's the beauty of the Helmet Head channel. We do an 11 out of 10 test and review. If I don't think it's any good, it never makes it out to video, full stop. And there's been a few now I've filmed and I've said, you know what, I'm not happy with this product or this thing, and it never makes it out on the channel. And I'll only put up stuff that I think is beneficial and good. And I think Sinners could be. I think if they get it right and they're doing all these right things, I'd love to see it. Anyway, with all that said and done, let's move on to some of the news on the Helmet Head channel. Now, when you're watching this, this will be Monday. This is when the podcast comes out on a Monday. On Thursday, I'll be setting off to do the 2003 patron and channel member meet, where we're going to be heading over Wales. There is literally still time to sign up to patron. You can sign up now. There's information to do with where we're camping on the 23rd and the 24th, and we're going to be riding the big ride days on the 24th, so camping at night on the 23rd. If you live far away, you can all meet, we'll all meet up, including myself, have some beers, have a good chat, have a giggle on a campsite, do some probably 11 out of 10 filming, see what happens. And then on the 24th is the other option. We're going to then ride to a certain location. We're going to meet up, enjoy a coffee there, then head off doing an unbelievable route. The route has been planned by a local person, a local Welsh person whose name's Mike, who's also known as CB Hornet 2000 Gallivanting on YouTube. And he's been a patron and a supporter of my channel for 4 years. He's a really lovely guy. So he's come up with this sort of unbelievable, incredible route across Wales, and we're going to go across and film it, and there's all downloadable maps for people that are worried about getting lost, etc, etc. And it's just going to be proper chilled out. We're going to have a hell of a blast, get drone footage, 360 footage, have a really great giggle. I get to hang out with all the people that really support the channel. Then again at night we're going to enjoy some beers, we're going to buy some food from a local shop. It's just all cheap, cheerful, great fun. And obviously the Helmet Head 11 out of 10, just wing it pretty much most of the day. So I'm excited for that to happen as well. So that's coming up, so there's still time to give everybody exact dates. If you're listening to this later, we're meeting up on the 23rd or the 24th, because obviously you've got the night, or you meet up in the morning, and obviously we're coming back on the Sunday of June 2023. That then brings me on to the next thing, the next opportunity, the big one to do something incredible with obviously me and the Helmet Head channel is, and I talked about this last year, the Helmet Head Festival. What is going to be unbelievably cool. Well, I've recently been contacted by the actual team that's a place called Peely's Barn that we're going to host it all. It's a new venue. They've had some issues with planning permissions and things, and they've had to reapply. It's cost them thousands and thousands of pounds. They're hoping that that's going to come through in the next few days, and then they're going to confirm with me that the Helmet Head Festival is a go. They've been back in contact with me how much they're desperate to have the festival there. They're super excited. They've got all these plans, bands. It's going to be awesome. So I'm hoping very shortly I'll be announcing the date of the 30th of September. I'm not going to announce it on the official channel or any of that until it's official, but hopefully the 30th of September, bear with me, sorry, a little bit of a cough, I apologise. 30th of September will hopefully be the first ever Helmet Head Festival that will include meeting there in the morning, chilling out, setting up your tents, having a bit of a giggle, riding out in the afternoon led by me to a very famous place, I'm not going to drop any of that yet, and riding back. And then we're going to chill out again when we get back, late afternoon, early evening, and then there's going to be bands playing, music, a pizza oven. You can bring all your own beer and food if you want to, but there's a bar there, a couple of trade stands, and it's going to become an event that's going to happen every single year and hopefully get bigger and bigger and bigger. But just for a most chilled out event ever, where we can do some camping, enjoy some beers, have a little bit of a giggle of a ride, and then chill out in the evening with some unbelievable, cool, awesome bands and party together. Is just next level. They've got all the facilities there, showers, the entire works. It is such a cool setup and a really chilled out place. And it's got everything. But that's not official until I announce it. But just put that date in your diary if all goes according to plan, the first ever Helmet Head Festival. I'm super excited. And then also obviously my next part of my world trip. So currently out on the channel is riding the length of Portugal using the N2. That is just, it's been an incredible journey, and at the end of this there was a bit of a twist that you'll see that made my heart flutter. I don't put probably enough on camera, but when I say my bum was twitching at the end of this adventure, it really was. But I'm going to leave that for you guys to find out why. But the next leg 5 of my adventure, is going to be the long way to Gibraltar. And why it's called the long way to Gibraltar as part of this world adventure is because I can actually get there in a day. If I want to push it, I can get to Gibraltar in a day. But I've got 4 days, so there's a real twist coming up in regard to that, because hopefully Paul might join me, plus others, because I'm always welcome to people wanting to join me on my world adventure. But if he hires a bike, if he hires in Portugal, he can't leave Portugal, and between Portugal and Gibraltar is Spain. So if he hires in Spain, we're stuck in Spain, and you can't hire a bike in Gibraltar. So we're currently hoping that he can hire a bike in Spain, right next to Gibraltar. He will catch a bus. I'll pick up my world conquering Ashworth Honda monkey bike, meet him in Spain, and we're going to take a 4-day long ride round Gibraltar and around all the sort of Spanish towns and villages and stuff, taking some epic sights, do some proper winging it, made up, let's see what we can find off the beaten track and what trouble we can get ourselves in, because we've got time, and then end up in Gibraltar. If Paul's unable to make it and the hiring doesn't work, I might go the opposite way and do more of the Algarve and do a similar thing. But my plan for the next trip is to make it as venturous and made up as possible, trying to do things that I've got time to do. So for instance, on my world trip at the moment, every day is really busy, but I've got a lot of miles to hack down. So take away having to hack down the miles to get to a location thinking I can easily do it, means I can look for some trails or cliffs or rivers or anything I can possibly find to make it absolutely bonkers and put Ashworth through the test. Let alone I've still got to pay as well when I collect Ashworth. I'm picking up from a Honda dealer. You'll see all this in the last episode. There's going to be a bill because there's some things I've got to get fixed and replaced. So it depends how big the bill is, depending how cheap I do the next leg, because it might end up being that I might have to buy a tent and do wild camping just to be able to survive the costs of the next leg, because at the moment there is no budget other than I've booked flights. And even the flights, I'm having to go all the way to Bristol, what's 150 miles from where I live in Desborough, to catch my flight to get to Faro, and then my flight back from Gibraltar, because it's the only nearest airport I can get that matches my flights. So that's expensive, flights and costs, because we're hitting the summer holidays. But I'm having the best ever time ever. So hopefully that's given you loads of what's going on the Helmet Head channel. Some awesome news stuff. Now coming up in the next episode, if I get some more unbelievable press reviews, inside information from some of the friends of the channel that work in certain manufacturers around the world, or like I said, I get press releases or any big news comes up, of course it'll be on the next podcast. Potentially we might look at putting an interview on. If there's somebody that you want to recommend, or somebody that is in the YouTube motorcycle world that wants to come on the podcast, ideally I'd love to meet them in person and put a date on it and we have a chat. If not, of course we could do it over the internet, but ideally in person. We can mic up, have a coffee, have a chat. You're more than welcome. Other than that, who knows what the next podcast is really going to be. Press releases, more news, what's going on, we'll find out. But hopefully you've enjoyed watching and listening to this. Don't forget the main Helmet Head channel, just Google it or click the link in the description, go and check that out, and I will see you on the next podcast, whatever it brings. You take care. Bye bye for now.